Sean, very good to see you. We are talking about the retirement red zone and 5 money moves you should make now. The retirement red zone generally consider the 5 years before and the 5 years after retirement. It's a critical time when investment decisions and market fluctuations can have a significant impact on your financial security. So, step number one, define your budget and expenses, but only 40% of people have ever calculated what they'll need to live on in retirement.
That's a really scary number, Erin.
Yeah.
It's shocking that only 40% do that. I'll tell you that 100% of the clients that we work with do that. Mandate, it's a hard word. We really need to look at the budgets when we help clients
Right.
put together a plan. It's one of the only things that people can control, right? We can't control what happens in the markets necessarily. We can't control at that stage in life how much we're getting from Social Security. What we can control is how much we're spending. So it's a
Mhm.
critical, really critical to look at what your budget is, what your expenses are, not now what they were the last 5 years, but what they are now, what they're going to be going forward. It's really important to have a realistic view of how much you might be traveling. You want to travel in retirement, for how many
Yeah.
years you're going to travel, what
Right.
what the expenses of that are going to be. Are you going to relocate to a different state? What is the tax regime in that state? What's the cost of living in that state? What's your health? I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's important to look at what your budget is, what you're spending, so
Mhm.
that you can put together a realistic and strong plan for retirement, hopefully before we're even in that red zone.
Right. So that is step number one. Step number two, define all your sources of guaranteed income.
Sure. Guaranteed income is this: Social Security. That's guaranteed income. You're going to get a check every single month. If you're fortunate enough to have a pension, that's guaranteed income. That's going to come in once a month or however frequently they pay you. Um, the other source of potential guaranteed income would be an annuity. If you have an annuity in place that is going to pay out at the time you select, that will be a source of guaranteed income. So you're
Mhm.
going to look at all these pieces of income, and that's going to be your, just like when you're working, it's going to be like that paycheck coming in, but it's going to be coming from different sources. That'll be your income in retirement. Now, the
Mhm.
exercise is to look at what your income is, what the expenses are, determine if there's a gap there. Typically, we find expenses exceed income. Now, what do we do? Now we got to figure
Right.
out where's the money going to come from to close that gap.
Right, exactly. And that's why that is step number three. When you know what's going out and what's coming in,
Yeah.
whatever the gap is, you help clients build an income plan to bridge that gap.
Yeah, we're gonna try to bridge that gap. So you can do that in multiple different ways, Erin. You can look at what you have in retirement savings across your IRAs, 401ks, things of that nature. Determine how much you have there. Select an appropriate investment structure for your age, your risk tolerance, and any income you might want to get from there. So that income is the key piece here. Hopefully we can, if it's sizable enough and is liquid enough, you can generate income from those investments to plug that gap between your guaranteed income and your expenses. So you can do it
Mhm.
from your investments. The other thing you can do, and I mentioned previously, is potentially an annuity. It's essentially your own personal pension.
Mhm.
Structured annuity. Great thing to do would be to fill that gap in its entirety. Then every month your bills are covered by income coming in. You don't have to worry about the markets are doing. That's
Right.
not feasible for everybody. That's something that often people will shoot for, though.
Mhm. Speaking of that guaranteed income, I want to circle back to Social Security. Figuring out the most financially optimal time to claim Social Security is difficult, but this is something that you specialize in, Sean.
It is. I have accreditation with the National Social Security Advisors Association. I had to read a book. It was like War and Peace, Erin. Social Security is complicated. There's lots of moving pieces. This graph shows, though, in a nutshell, how Social Security is available to all of us. You can claim as early as 60 years old. And I'll tell you, a lot of folks come in and they say, I want to claim at 60. I want my money back. But you can see here, every year you wait, you get roughly an 8% increase
Right.
in your Social Security benefit. The latest you can claim is at 70. Your full retirement age is, for most people, 67. Let me touch on that for a second. Full retirement age is not the age at which the government says you have to retire. It's the age at which the Social Security Administration calculates increases in your Social Security benefit or decreases, as well as other things such as spousal benefits. But it's important to really look You got that budget done, and work with somebody who understands Social Security to determine when might be appropriate to claim. I'll share with you, given that most people are living a lot longer these days, 85, 90 years old, a couple of years difference in claiming can mean 150 to $300,000 difference in Social Security benefits by the time we're in our 90s.
Yeah, that's why it's one of the most important decisions you'll make in retirement.
Yeah.
And last, of course, you need to consider taxes, which will be one of your biggest expenses in retirement without proactive planning.
Absolutely. We are right now, if nobody's paying attention, government is in Washington, D.C. is running a big deficit. And I don't know if this is one of the reasons, but if you look at this chart, you'll see that we're at really historic lows from a tax perspective. Tax rates are lower than they've been in, as you can see here, decades and decades. Ronald Reagan came in, and you can see they really dropped off. But given the budget deficit that we're running, we're probably going to have to see some tax increases in the future. What that means is, if you don't do proper tax planning, if you have a lot of your retirement savings in IRAs and 401ks, you're going to have those required minimum distributions starting at age 73 or 75. You're going to be paying pretty high taxes on those, potentially even higher taxes than you are today while you're saving. So it's really important to look at how much you're saving, where you're saving, what the tax rates are, and then what they might be in the future to try to put together a good tax plan for retirement.
Right. A lot of moving parts to consider,
There
again,
are.
when you're in that retirement red zone. So if somebody is creeping into that zone, or if they've just retired and want to talk through any of these strategies with you, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, by all means, give us a call at our office. Our number is 603-715-2335. Folks can also go to our website, which is daviswealthmgmt.com. We have a lot of information there, and we also have a section where you can click connect with an advisor, and you'll be able to put time directly on my calendar.
Great. Sean, thank you.
Thank you, Erin.